Hey, and thanks for clicking play. And we're going to have another look at a game on the Spectrum Plus 3 this week. Showing the Spectrum some love while it's out. And the A1200 has been relegated to under the shelf. And it's Driller today. So you would have seen this a long while ago in a pickups video, not had time to cover it as a game because it's a game you kind of need time to get back into and cover. So I hope I can do it some justice today. But again, it's not so much about the game itself. It is about my memories around the game, whilst we also have a look at the gameplay as well. I just think it's a great title to show off what a Spectrum can do. Keeping in mind, this is a 48K title, which is absolutely amazing. So let's have a mess about with where the camera's going to sit and let's get this fired up. Actually, no, before we do that, I think we need to have a good long hard look at, not a long look, but what's in the box for this copy that I've picked up. Okay, so in this box on Driller, for the ZX Spectrum, which I bought off a Facebook group for not a lot. There's the screenshots on the back. Those are clearly, because their actual screenshots may vary, it says. There would be the Amiga and ST versions, I believe. Maybe even PC, I'm not sure. But it's obviously a Freescape game. Get into that more when I do 3D construction kit on the Amiga. But on the Spectrum, which is great. And inside the box we've got the manual, which is in great condition. And that is the code protection as well, the copy protection. And we have loading instructions. This was available on Plus 3 disc, it would seem, so that would be a nice version to try and get. But I mean, well, we'll get into when I had it, when we're loading the game. Stick that in there. And inside the box as well is, this one is untouched. I mean, obviously it's been cut out and it looks like it's been scored. This is the 3D map. So you would fold that to become the map of the, is it the asteroid that you're mining? Something like that. But I'm not going to fold it because I'll mess it up. But usually these have writing on where people have mapped out each room that they find. This one hasn't got any writing on. The first area is populated out of the box. So that's nice to have. And obviously we have the tape. So let's put what we don't need back, which is that and that. Put that back on the box and we'll keep out the manual and the tape. Okay, so as with last video, let's get the tape. Let's put this into the Aldi retro style tape deck. We're going to need this. We'll throw that up there. There we go. Hit loader. And hit play. Let's let that load. Check for focus. I think we're good. And so while it loads, my memories of Driller, which is why I paused about owning it on tape rather than Plus 3, because that's not true. I never actually owned it. My friend Sean owned it, and this is a game that I borrowed off him multiple times and tried to get into. He also had Total Eclipse, and he also had Dark Side, which comes after Driller. And that's where my memories, in all honesty, get a bit blurry. I remember being very fond of these games, but in all honesty, I can't remember if I got around to playing Driller and Total Eclipse. Sorry, Dark Side and Total Eclipse on the Amiga rather than the Spectrum. But I do specifically remember playing Driller on the Spectrum. So this is why I'm happy to do this way. I think they're great. All three are great games to own on both systems. So I may actually collect them all on both. Obviously the Amiga adding a much better frame rate and the obviously nicer color graphics. But what I like about this is it uses Freescape, so it's flat shade polygon 3D with limitations, obviously. But I think it's a really good game to demonstrate what the Spectrum is capable of in terms of 3D environments. Keep in mind, this is a 48K game, even though we're loading this on the Plus 3. Now, Sean, the friend that I borrowed it off, and his brother Gary, they had the Plus 2, as did my other friend Steve, and so that's what they would have loaded it on, the Plus 2. But yep, I had the Plus 3, but I would borrow their cassettes, and this was one of them. Great looking load screen, I think. Absolutely fantastic. Now, just like back in the day, as probably 14-year-olds, I've got some wine. I'm joking, I didn't drink wine back then. I stole some on my mum's ouzo. But anyway, that's another story. Probably about 16 when I did that. Anyway, ouzo, fantastic drink. Oh, mate, if you like aniseed. So let's get this loaded. Doesn't take too long. I can't remember what I paid for this. It wasn't much. It was on one of the Facebook groups, and I bought it. And it was the first Spectrum game I bought off this particular group, and got the guy to send it from the UK. And then I think I got him to add another game in as well. I can't remember. I actually can't remember. But yeah, very, very pleased to have this. And that's in beautiful condition. I mean, the box is a little bit pushed in, if we're honest, but that you could iron out. I always think it's crashed when it does that. There's a great video on box restoration by RMC The Cave by Neil. So I will put a link in the description to that video if you're interested in how to restore game boxes, specifically how to iron out games that need that kind of treatment. There we go. Introducing Freescape. So we got the good old copy protection. So page 28, line 4, enter word 3. And now we have the childhood anxiety attack. And I'll explain what I mean. So you go page 28. You know what I'm going to say about not having my glasses, don't you? You'd think I would learn and be prepared. That was the tape stopping. Page 28. Here we go. Look at the wonderful artwork in these, and this fills in the gaps, doesn't it, for your imagination, having these kind of, so that's your drill rig when you put them in, that's the excavation probe that you're driving most of the time. There is another one you can get into, there we go, this one that actually flies, which is cool, and then these are things that attack you. But even though these are also sort of simplified polygons, this sort of fed into your imagination of what you were actually doing in the game, filling in the gaps that the graphics couldn't. Right, so page 28, line 4, and this is as a child you go, well, do they mean including the heading? Let's assume not. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, word 3. 1, 2, 3, almost. Oh. Don't hit what would normally be delete, because that's break. Where's delete? Over here. There we go. And we are in. So we want Sinclair joystick. good old Cheetah 125 with its grey connector plugged into port, whatever port that is, port 1, and enter to begin mission. So there we go. I mean, very clever way of keeping the frame rate up. You have a limited area that is actually the playing area, and everything else is your HUD. What's cool when you get into using 3D construction kit on the Amiga is you're involved in building. You can make your own HUDs in Deluxe Paint and import them when you're making your own games. That's an episode for another time. And so we navigate using the joystick like so. And I did just have a dabble in this the other day, just to have a play about and remind myself. But it's amazing, and I'll be honest with you, what was muscle memory was pretty much all the controls. What I couldn't find was the flying probe. I did used to like that. But anyway, so you navigate around, it's fairly intuitive, you know, forward is forward, back is back, left is left, right is right, fire is fire, you know, here we go. And then you have to place your drill rig, and here's the first one. So you get sort of in front of the X, okay, and then I'm going to press, I think it's space, and this thing here changes between driving and targeting. I'm going to point down here. I'm going to press D. It sort of drops it. It doesn't actually go by the cursor. It goes by where your probe is, and I always don't get it quite right. But anyway, it's put it there, and that's going to start drilling. And somewhere it'll tell me a percentage success. I think I probably just missed that message. But anyway, that's good enough. I'll leave that there, drilling. I can't really remember what the actual idea of the game is, other than that you need to do that in several places, and some of them are hard to get to. So some of them you can't get past certain doors and stuff, which is why you have to find the flying probe so that you can then get to the other side of walls or canyons or whatever, activate bridges and stuff, and then come back and get your drill rig. So it's really a puzzle game more than an action game, if we're honest. But let's have a look. So if I go through here, I can't remember where I went the other day. Okay, so we've got this challenge. So we just got to clear a path basically here. So I'll just shoot these. Oh. And suddenly, uh-oh, uh-oh, oh no! Uh-oh. What's just happened is, I think the quick shot, the Cheetah 125 has finally let me down. It's not going back. It's been working fine. Oh no, it's going back now. Okay, it's working now. Clearly got a bit of an issue arising there for the future. This probably needs taking apart and cleaning. I haven't done it since I got it. All right, so we'll go through here. So in terms of muscle memory, look, what came back to me the other day, I'll show you in the next section actually, was some of the additional keyboard controls, and it's just amazing how they've stuck with me. And this is why it's important to play. So games that I played on the 48K Spectrum, I have to play on the 48K. Games that I played on the +3, I have to play on the +3, because the keyboards are very different and the muscle memory doesn't come back unless you're using the same device as you used growing up. Right, is that a wall or is that the canyon? No, that's a wall. So it's like when I came here, I thought, oh, okay, there's something up there. What is it? And I just instinctively pressed P, and that rotates my probe up like that, which you can do. You can flip it all the way over if you want. And then instinctively it's L to go back down. Now you've got your angle increments here, 15 degrees, step is 250, extend is 1, and I can't remember, but you can change these. I just can't remember how you change those. What I didn't try is you can also rotate that way and that way. I'm thinking it's either Q and W or it's Z and X. I'm going to try Q and W. No, okay, that rotates. That's instead of joystick movement, that rotates. So let's try Z and X. Oh, that changes my step. Okay, X changes my step. I've changed everything now. My angle has changed to 5. A makes it go up. Okay. Let's go to 15. Step is now, there we go, 25 was what it was on. So that's that. So maybe it's these cursor keys. Nope, don't know what that's doing. That's weird. You can rotate like that. Maybe it's N and M. Okay, N and M. So muscle memory is not great. I said I'd be honest about it. But what I did not honestly remember was P and L. Bizarre thing to just have stick in my head. So N and M rotates around like that. Okay. Now, no, we don't just shoot that. There is a way across. No, there isn't. That's right, there isn't. So I have to go back because I need the fly thing, and I can't remember where the fly thing is. That's a laser turret. So we quickly hit that. And that turns it. If it can still see me, if it's got line of sight, it can still shoot at me, but that one's not shooting. So I'm good. Some you destroy, some you just rotate. So I didn't come here the other day. I've gone through a different door, but that's fine. I want to go to the area that I got to though, because it was cool. But anyway, let's go over here. I think this is where you go to get the flying one. This is looking familiar. The area I got to the other day, there's a little chasm with sticky uppy bits, and if you fall in there, you die. But there's a bridge. You shoot the bridge, and then that lets you get to the other side, which is cool. And this is where rotating is cool, because then you can check, is it safe to go down? Yeah, it looks good. It's a bit weird because you're in this drill rig probe that looks like a tank, this futuristic tank. But then you've got doors that make you think you're a person on legs. So the level design is a little bit confusing, I would argue. That looks like a laser turret. No, it isn't. Okay, good. It's like some hopper thing with energy lines going off it. He says, filling in the gaps with his own imagination, because who friggin' knows? Okay, what we got? Oh, bugger off. Can't kill it. It's not going to end well, is it? Oh, look. Yes, yes, yes. Look, there it is. So there's a little rope there. So that's dropped this. The funny thing about playing this now, having played with 3D Construction Kit on the Amiga and the PC, I'll play with it later on the PC, is that when I'm playing this, I'm now thinking about the mechanics of what you can and can't put together in the Freescape engine. So it's all to do with triggers, essentially, and events that happen when you shoot at certain things. So I know that there would have been a visible block here, and there would have been an invisible block here. And what this game has done is, because I've shot this is the magician revealing the tricks. I apologise, but I've shot one object, and then that would have had a routine that said, delete the laser turret, make the block that was here invisible or remove it, and make the block that was here that was invisible visible. And then that creates the illusion that what I've done is shoot a rope and dropped a block onto the laser turret's head. Notice there was no animation there. The block just disappeared from here and reappeared here. So I've got no energy. Let's go in there. Notice how when there's more on the screen, it moves a bit slower. Oh no! I think that big thing at the top is a laser. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And there's the end screen, also as a 3D object. Can you move around it? No, you can't. So there you go. Look, it's a big game. It's a deep game, and you can spend hours on it. And I did as a kid. I remember spending hours trying to get to more drill things. For the most part, because this is the promise on both the box and the manual of being able to fly around the landscape, I just wanted to find this flying probe and just fly around. You know, such is my love of flying things. So that was the main thing for me. And when I did, I kind of lost interest. After I'd found it, I sort of lost interest in finding all the puzzles. But having it again now and seeing how it plays, I'm actually quite keen to give it the time it deserves and actually see if I can complete it. I think, yeah, this game deserves it. And why not do it on the Spectrum? Just for old time's sake. So there you go. That's Driller, which is a Freescape game. And like I said at the beginning, I just think a game like this really does show off how much you could get out of these wonderful 8-bit machines, you know. Flat shade, poly, first person, 3D. Absolutely amazing. All right, see you on the next one.